What up, people? I have been finding a couple of my amps have been not working the way they should, mainly my old amps. So I thought I'd do a bit of a different video today and have a quick look at why amps aren't working the way they should be. It's cold today. I've also been given a few amps from people who've asked me to look at them and try and fix them. I don't really know what I'm doing. I kind of pull things apart and make it up as I go along. So let's take a look. So this first amp is actually an amp from one of the schools I work at, and the first main problem is kind of obvious to see. Camera, go there. That is where the jack goes in, and as you can see, it is no longer there. Oh crap, camera, oh. So the first thing I'm going to do, we turn this thing around, just kind of pull it apart. So this was in here like that. Just rip that off. Now the way this one's designed is really quite useful because it's kind of done in two parts. With some of them you'd have to take this back panel off. We don't need to do that with this. All I've done is I've took the screws out of the top, which were in these holes here, and then this top feature, this top section of the amp, just pulls right out. And that's my little bag of screws which I kept. There you go. As you can see, closer look, that side, jack's completely fallen in. If we look here, here he is. Hello! So he should be poking out of there like that. Now the problem is, of course, because this has been in a school, that it's obviously been fiddled with and messed with, and the actual screw that goes on there to hold that in place has disappeared. That's why I ordered a new one. There we go. Let's piddly little thrill. Just a plastic little, not a screw, nut. Can you tell I know what I'm doing? Lovely jubbly. See that in there now? That's holding that in place there. Now I don't know if this is like an official Marshal one. It doesn't feel like an official Marshal one. It looks a bit different, but seems to be holding it in place pretty nicely. And we put this all back together. Oh, other way around. See if it works. Seems to be all hunky-dory. So let's look at problem number 2. Got the jack all secured in place on this one. The problem now I have is this. These horrible crackly noises. It's just this master volume switch. And when you turn it to certain places, it kind of cuts out. But our master volume is crackly, and I think they call it potting. Who knows? It don't sound good. So what we need to do is we need to give it a clean. Now this stuff here is what you want. This one's actually called switch cleaner, but it's also called contact cleaner, I think is its proper name. I bought that one from Maplin's. Don't need to buy it from Maplin's, you buy it from anywhere. Get it online. This is great stuff. Now they normally come with like a straw. So what you do is you pop the straw in the hole there, straw comes off there, and you can poke that straw into all the holes and you give it a good spray. So what we're going to do that now. Point this down. So it's this master volume, but I'm probably going to do a bit on all of them. So you can do it in the front, but not too much in the front. You want to try and get behind it if you can. It's easier said than done on this one. Careful not to spray it in your eye. Ah! And as you're spraying it, give those knobs a little turn. Alright, let's see if that's done the job. Don't use WD-40 or something like oil-based. It's not meant for electronic devices. Why? Because that's just what I was told. Make sure you use contact cleaner or switch cleaner Now, let's have a look. And you see that master switch now is kind of pretty smooth. Now the great thing about contact cleaner is it dries really quickly. Let it dry and just keep turning them. Now what you might find is it won't be perfect. That's actually, I'm surprised how well that's worked. No crackles at all. Smooth, nothing there, that's great. You might find that you still have a few crackles. You might just need to do that a couple of times over, or wait for a bit, come back and do it again. I've tried doing this by just spraying it in the front and doing like this, and although it works, it doesn't work long term. Now all I gotta do is put it back together. So, as you can see, this is where I took them out. Beautiful little sprules. There we go. Oh, it's really hard to find where I'm pointing this thing. There it is, in there like that. And they go through the body of the amp into the head, like that, straight through and into there, and like hold it up. Okay. And with these Marshal ones, they actually have to come quite far forward, so they're like basically in line. But we got it. We got it. We now got a nice sounding amp, and it's working good. So that was the Marshal MG50FX. A really nice amp, solid state amp. It's good. So let's have a look at another Marshal amp. This one's smaller. This is actually the very first amp I bought. It's just a little 15 watt MG, Marshal MG. As you can maybe already hear. Holy crap. Let's have a go at this one. First thing you do is you unplug it. Obviously I can't get to that without taking off this back panel. So we're going to start by doing that. Alrighty, now we see the speaker. Similar sort of setup to before. We've got this, the head, the top part of the amp. It's actually connected to this. So whereas the other amp was nice and easy, it was just a jack that came from this into the speaker. This one has these like weird cables. Do not be scared. These just pull out like that. Just lift them out. They should just pop out like that. So once again, to get this top bit off, we're going to take the screws out of the top. And you have to be quite careful taking these out. Make sure you hold this bit, because this will just drop. And there you go. And as you see, similar, just more simplified design of the same thing. The nice thing about this one is, look, you can actually see, if you look on the back, the backs of each of these knobs along the front, which is great, especially if you've got that straw on your cleaner, because you can get the straw right in the holes. Find any holes that you've got along these and give them a good spray. Obviously focusing mainly on that clean channel volume, because that was the one that was really bad. So you give them a spray and you just give them all a good turn to allow that cleaner to get in there, and it kind of collects up all the dust inside. So you see those little things there. I'm going to get this right in there. Spray right into the holes. Turn all the knobs, because all the mechanisms, all the bits inside there, you're just moving them all around and allowing that cleaner to really brush over all of it. If I talk confidently, you'll believe what I'm saying. I have no idea what I'm doing. But it seems to work, so who cares? Before you go screwing it all back together and putting it all back in and screwing everything back in, just put it together as minimally as possible. Put this back up to the speaker and test it first, because you might find it needs a little bit more cleaner. You need to do it a few more times to really clean it up, because that one was really bad. So let's see anyway. Okay, so now I've kind of put it back together, kind of put it half back together, not properly. We've got nice, smooth volume control. Check the overdrive channel. Bit of a hum there. But it's pretty good for an old amp. Nice. Happy days. Top tip. When you're doing the screws for the top of the amp to attach the body of it back to the head, start at the back, because you can see where the screws line up with the head at the back. So I'm talking about a third amp. So I've been given this amp by one of my students who said it's not working. They bought a new one, so I've just kind of took it off them. I said I'll take it and see if I can fix it, see what I can do with it. And I plugged it all in. Guitar's up, I'm getting absolutely nothing. Barely coming through, that's full blast. It's a 25 watt amp. So let's have a look. Now most amps are usually built the same way. You've got that back panel, and then you've got the head or the brain of the amp, which will sit somewhere, and then the other part. So let's take the back off and see what we've got on this one. So what we're looking for really, any loose wires, any wires that you think should be connected, and you might just see that sometimes as these get turned, or as certain things happen to the amp, they tug on the wires inside and you can sometimes just pull them apart. And it might be as simple as finding it and just sticking it back to where it was. In some cases it might need soldering. It just depends how far you're willing to go with it. I'm a believer that nothing really dies, it just depends on how much you're willing to do or how much you're willing to spend. And on an amp like this, which is not an expensive amp, not always worth it, but we'll see what we can find. Now, just looking around in here, all seems pretty legit. Can't see anything, any wires that have kind of come loose. They all seem attached. All seem attached, all seem attached. Days, under here, cobwebs. Why, oh why? Yeah, all seems good here. And just double check that like in the other amp, the speaker is attached, look. So all seems okay. So what I'm gonna do is, like the other amps, just gonna use some contact cleaner. Might do the job, might not. You can get that straw right in that hole there. And give them a good twist as you do them. Give them a good clean out. Okay, so that didn't work. Still not really getting anything from this amp. If I plug that back in again, nothing. If I wobble this, there we go, sound. So the issue is obviously something to do with this thing here. So I'm gonna try and give it a clean out and see if that works. Okay, so what I ended up doing is completely pulling the whole thing apart, and I think I just gave the input jack a good clean, sprayed loads of contact cleaner in there, and seems to be working. The joys of contact cleaner. So anyway, that was a bit of a different video, a bit random. Leave any comments if you have any questions down below. Check out my Instagram, my Facebook page. Links are in the description below. Why? Because... Yep. Or let me know if you have any other problems with your amps. Tell me things that are going on with yours. I don't have solutions, I just pull things apart and hope for the best. The best way to do it. Anyway, catch you later.